Welcome back, boys and girls of all ages and descriptions. This is Uncle Glen's Political Peanut Gallery, and by golly, it is. Our special guest today is Stu Rosen, who came... Come on, let's hear it, you ungrateful little... Hi, Stu.
They're overdoing it all. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I slipped them a couple of bucks to pump it up a little for you.
Well, you had to.
Yeah. And
I'm so unknown these days, yeah. Except my students. Yeah.
And we're going to have some fun. I defy you to prove that we aren't going to have some fun. Yeah. And we're going to have some coffee and psych meds this morning. Psych meds. There you go. Hey, look out. I'm going to have some of those because they calm me down and they pep me up at the same time. Wow. Oh, yeah, baby. Now, once those hit you... That sounds like there's another wild duck in here. Are you drinking on a wild duck?
No.
All right. There she's a flat-foot fruity with the Floyd. Flat-foot fruity with the Floyd. Flat-foot fruity with the Floyd. Floyd. What a commercial back there, Ron? We are brought to you today by Activa Aroma Cocoa Snoot. It's the snoot that does the deed, I'm telling you. And we're also brought by Tranny, what is it? Tranny Horny.
Honey.
Oh, honey. Tranny Horny Honey. And
Okay.
What is that? I'm not tranny, I just have skinny hips. That's what I have to say. And while we're waiting for those pills to kick in, I'm going to give you a little household hint for the kids at home, you know. When you go down, this is a little fun you can have when you're going through the drive-through down at, what is that place you drive through? Starbucks.
In-N-Out Burger.
In-N-Out.
Yeah, when I go to In-N-Out Burger, I always say, it feels like I've been in more than out. You know, I mean, you can never get out of that line. Oh, the other thing I love that they say, I tease them all the time about it. It's a wonderful place. But I go, it's right near me. So In-N-Out Burger, when I'm real tired, I go, okay, I'm going to get a sandwich. So I get in that line, and they always say to you, now, are you going to be enjoying this in your car? And I always go, no, I'll be enjoying it in my mouth.
I get it.
Yeah. Good.
Not often.
Oh, and the other thing is, this is the classic.
Oh, yeah.
I went to the pharmacy to get some medicine the other day, and I go in, and I go to get the pharmacy, and I walk up to the, how are you? I said, how can you ask me how I am if I'm standing here and I'm dying from something? You know, why would I be in the pharmacy? You know, other than, how are you? I don't think you want to know.
You threaten to tell him. Yeah. Fat lady goes into a pharmacy. She says, I would like to buy some talcum powder. He says, yes, ma'am, walk this way. She says, if I could walk that way, I wouldn't need the powder.
Okay.
Now I'll sing you a little tune called After the Lovin', Make Me a Sandwich and Go Home. We are also brought to you by Kenner's Daddy Saddle. Oh, these are really hot on the morning after Christmas or the New Year's Eve party that you can't get out of. Oh, Rochester, who's your daddy? So there you go. Kenner's Daddy Saddle. Spurs and whips are extra. And so what you do to go through the drive-thru?
The show is getting pretty edgy.
Is it?
No. With a dull edge. Okay.
Yeah, dull edge. So you go in, you know how you get your windshield wipers fixed down at Pep Boys or wherever they go, Manny Mo and the other guy. So you take your windshield wipers, you know, you can stick them straight out like that so they can put the blades on them, right? And they just kind of stay there. Then you take your long yellow rubber gloves and stick them over the end of the wipers, and you turn them on, and then you go through the drive-thru like this, and it kind of, I don't know what, but at least it'll scare off all the Girl Scouts for you. You won't have to buy any cookies that day. Don't listen. Don't mess with me. I got opposable thumbs. What? You got Oh yeah. Now,
You're pushing me toward an electric cigarette.
Do that again. It's good to the last drop.
Has the audience, have any of you ever seen the guy who does the commercial? No.
The commercial
for blue cigarettes. They're electric cigarettes.
Those kids now working blue.
You
No, I didn't.
Well, it's probably on shows you never watch. So
probably shows that have an audience.
Yeah, I'm always watching documentaries. So.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about the commercial. I'm fascinated.
No, there's nothing more about it.
That's it.
No, the guy who does it is Stephen Dorff, and I remember I worked with him when he was 13, and all of a sudden I wondered what happened to him, and there he is. He's doing, I think he's done a bunch of movies, but I haven't seen.
Were you with him or against him?
He was a good guy. He's very smart. I told him he's 13. I said, "You're really good. Stick with the business. You're a really good actor." Nope. No, he was a typical kid.
Speaking of the boy, this is just like the Love Boat with all the water sucked out, isn't it? Speaking of the NSA, they're listening in on everything, and so I know there's a lot of people who want to protest. So here's what you do, folks at home: if you want to protest the NSA listening in on everything, send yourself a strongly worded email to protest, and they'll get it somehow. That's right. I'm going to do a little song for you.
Hey, Glenn. I
kind of like that.
Thank you.
I wanted to have a cocktail.
When I had said the business about the NSA, you were supposed to talk.
The or the latter? Okay.
The latter.
Okay.
You were supposed to talk about the guy that we saw who originated that whole idea of listening in on people's telephones and all that on Verizon. Well, I've got a picture of him right here.
Oh, yes, that's right. That's right. That's him, yeah. Did he ever get any Emmys for that? I had a joke for that and forgot all about it. All right, the pills are kicking in now. I want to do this, sir.
Yeah, the M&Ms, kicking in.
You must remember this.
I like this. Is very cocktaily. I like it. I like it. Keep going. I want to hear play this some more. I want to be able to do so. It's like just like you were doing the beginning part, because they used to do in those old 40s movies. They're two women and they're having cocktails, and they run their finger around the edge of the glass, and they pull up their nail like this. So, how did you know, Jimmy? Waiter, we'll have 2 more martinis. So, okay, that's enough. Because I lost the punch.
That's a funny place to kiss a girl. Yeah, I know.
You can cut that out.
We're also sponsored today by BPTP. If your rum can't tell the difference, neither can we.
So BP.
Yeah, well, that's right.
If you BP, you'll need the TP.
And I don't know what he's got back there. He's just got all kinds of nutty stuff.
Look at this audience member here. I mean, this guy is thin.
Yeah.
I mean, if he stands up, he'll look like a pregnant straw.
Have some more psych meds there, young man. All right, psych meds for everybody. Here we go. Here we go now. All right, eat them up, folks. As we always say, death before decaf. Go ahead. Right. Oh, look at it. Boy, they can catch them, can't they? Wait a minute. Way in the back there. Oh, God. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. She's got eyes of blue. I never cared for eyes of blue, but she's got eyes of blue, and that's my weakness now. She's got dimpled cheeks. I never cared for dimpled cheeks, but she's got dimpled cheeks, and that's my weakness now. Oh, my. Oh, me. Oh, it should be good, and it would be good, but gee. She likes to bill and coo, and I never liked to bill and coo, but she likes to bill and coo, and that's my weakness now.
I know all that stuff.
You know that one?
Yeah. My dad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to take a little break. And when we come back, I swear I'm going to let you have it. We're going to bring back Uncle Stu Rosen, and we're going to have some laughs, talk about showbiz, and resurrect my career from the dumper. Come on down.
We'll talk about no biz. Okay.
Well, she's got eyes.
They held thousands of coffee klatches all over the country, where they invited their neighbors to come and listen to a record made by a well-known actor on the evils of socialized medicine.
My name is Ronald Reagan. One of the traditional methods of imposing statism or socialism on a people has been by way of medicine. The doctor begins to lose freedoms. It's like telling a lie, and one leads to another. When a doctor decides he wants to practice in one town, the government has to say to him, you can't live in that town. They already have enough doctors. You have to go someplace else. All of us can see what happens once you establish the precedent that the government can determine a man's working place and his working methods, and behind it will come other federal programs that will invade every area of freedom as we have known it in this country, until one day we will awake to find that we have socialism.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, behold the decline of Western civilization.
No.
And when that happens, you're all going to have to share one spoon. You saw it right there. It's coming, I tell you. The heroin on the spoon. Well, now, it's government heroin, so it's good stuff. But anyway, so we're back.
What kind of a political show is this? I mean, to play old bull like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's have some fresh bullshit. That's what we need.
Well, maybe not too fresh.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our guest star, Mr. Stu Rosen. Come on.
X-star.
X-star, but you took home 11 Emmys.
No, 10. Yeah.
Well, you took home 11, but you only won 10.
And I'm not sharing them. No.
I've been working on that joke for weeks.
And then, you did it.
And I did it. Yeah. And a Peabody.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I've got a lot of awards hanging on my wall. Yeah.
Yeah. And you couldn't bring an Emmy down to.
No, I was going to bring that down.
You know, I got rubber sandwiches I got to have, but an Emmy, that's not good enough for this show.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay.
Explain.
No, I mean, I was shocked when I won the awards, and I remember there was one of the people that said to me, well, I suppose you're going to get another one. I said, I don't know. Because I was winning them consecutively over 6 years. So every year I kept winning. And I remember Snyder. You know,
it was on the tip of my tongue.
No, he was in the news. Tom Snyder.
Oh.
And Tom Snyder was on NBC News and NBC4. And he said to his guy that did sports, he said, so what are you doing this weekend? He said, well, I'm getting a tuxedo on. And he said, oh, so am I, just to watch Dusty's Treehouse roll in again. That's what he said. I happened to be watching the news, and I thought, this is classic.
I'm telling you right now, Dusty's Treehouse was Emmy bait. And to prove it, we've got a clip.
Yeah.
Bang! It was loaded.
Oh, jeez.
Stanley? Stanley? What happened to me?
Wait, you better sit still. You got shot, Stanley.
I got shot.
Yeah. And Scooter was afraid you wouldn't talk to him again. But I told him that wouldn't be like Stanley. And that it would be okay.
Oh my goodness.
A little heavy. Yeah.
A little heavy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when the show, I believe, was, and it could be argued, but I believe we were one of the first shows to do socially relevant stuff back in 1970.
It's more relevant now than.
Yeah, than it was, than it is now even. But so I did a lot of subjects, and this particular one was about playing with guns, which, and as of today, I mean, we're still talking about people having guns and people being shot.
Except now it's grown-ups playing.
Now it's grown-ups playing with guns and shooting grown-ups and kids. And so I decided that we should do a piece on that, and I won an award for that too. It was from Ohio State University for public service, and.
Was that a PSA? Was that?
No, it wasn't. It was part of the show. But it was questioned as to whether I should cry on the show. Really? And I had made the decision that I should, so that they could know that men can cry and it's okay. And so I allowed myself to have real tears. And it was hard to pull off because I'd never cried on camera before. But I managed to do it. It was real. And the show was very successful. And what is all that?
That's cleanup in the encampment file.
Yeah, I was going to say. It sounds like things are a little rough over there. You know? Sounds a little, it sounds a little Charmanish.
I'm sorry you had to hear that.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks.
Yeah, and we did that, and we did some other, like one other show we did was on divorce, and it took me months to figure out how are you going to explain divorce to kids. And then finally I realized the way you explain it is that both your parents love you, and it's how it affects you, not what they had as an issue between them, because there were too many issues that could be happening. So and that also won an award. And then we did one on adoption, we did it on all those kinds of subjects, which no one was doing. And then when I guested Captain Kangaroo, Bob Keeshan, I noticed that about 3 to 6 months later, he was all of a sudden doing socially relevant stuff. So I think he stole it from me.
He always had that mouse on a popsicle stick. That always impressed me. He would stick it through the little hole and wiggle it at the camera.
Yeah. Well, we had better puppets than he did. So
I'll say.
I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. Betty Thomas.
Betty Thomas, who is now quite well-known director.
Right.
I think the latest thing that I know about is that she did the Chipmunks movie, and I think Chipmunks Christmas, was it? And she did, I think it's Private Parts about Howard Stern. And
I like that.
Yeah,
that's good.
and she's directed a lot of things, and she actually is a performer, and she's very funny. She's a comic, and we used to do a lot of sketch comedy stuff, and I used to cast her, and she could walk in a room and have me laughing. Just walking in the room, there's just something about her that just tickled me. So she, and I remember she came in and auditioned with me for a thing, and then she said, I'm supposed to go over to MTM and audition for something called Hill Street Blues. And I said, what is it, like a baseball team thing? She said, I don't know. And guess what she got cast in, and she did it for years, was Hill Street Blues, And she played a serious role, not a comic role. Yeah. But an extremely talented woman, extremely talented.
Oh, here we go.
Care of business.
Oh, Mrs. Sulzer. I'm sorry, but your lung isn't done yet.
Not done yet? I seem to remember that you promised me it would be ready by 4, and what is it now, 4:45? Whatever happened to the out by 10, in by 4?
Mrs. Sulzer, I've had a hard day. You understand what I'm trying to say? We couldn't even get that lung around the block for a test breathing, you know?
All right, look. Why don't you just drop that lung in a bag, and from now on I'll take my organs elsewhere,
That's just fine with me, Mrs. Sulzer. Here's your lung, okay?
You?
Bye-bye.
This is not my lung. This one is pink and young.
Maria, hold on a second. Your lung's here somewhere.
You lost that lung.
I haven't lost the lung. Believe me, it couldn't get lost. It might crawl out of here on its own, but it... holes in it and
rough
stuff.
on the edges.
Boys in the back called it Bad Day in L.A.
Very cute. Very cute.
Here it is.
Thank you. I do not know why I bother with you people.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Sulzer. Don't drop in again. You know, if you get a checkup once in a while, you wouldn't need a place like this. Oh, what a day.
That was an interesting clip. That was nice.
Yeah, well, that was part of a show we did to get people to. I was always involved in these things to have people do things that were good for themselves, and so that was part of a show that was called Just for the Health of It, and it was to urge people to go in and have their blood pressure checked and all that sort of thing. And this was about smoking, obviously.
Wow.
So, you know, get your lung for a test drive. You know,
Yeah.
you know, so, yeah, it was cute. And also on that same show was Mindy Sterling, you know, who appeared in a number of the Austin
Powers?
Yes. No. Yes.
No.
Is it Austin Powers? Yes.
Yeah.
Meadowlark.
Fellas. Wasn't she Frau somebody or another in Austin
Blucher.
Powers?
Oh,
That's right. Verbissina. That's it. Which means, in Yiddish, means the bite. You know, or to kind of, you know, verbissina. You know, she's like
the name.
not
the name.
bad mood. Huh?
The name.
The name. Mindy Sterling. Is that what you want to know? The
I
actress's
thought
name?
we were going for Yes, he was my boyfriend. That was,
you were watching something else. I forgot. What else did you have up there?
Cloris Leachman.
Oh, what about Cloris Leachman?
I don't know.
with
Isn't
her.
that who he's referring to?
No.
What are you doing, Ron? How dare you?
No.
bust
Bring
in
my
and-
mic up. Bring my mic. Hey, can you hear me out there now? Look, you guys, knock it off, okay? I'm trying to talk here, Glenn.
All right.
Remember, we're talking Austin Powers, not young Frankenstein. Stein.
Austin Powers. Yes. And Frau Bucher, right? Verbissina. I get the two mixed up. Verbissina. You know, she's Verbissina. You know, and she's another wonderful actress. She's great. And it was very early on that I met her, and then she did a lot of these sketch comedy shows, which I worked on, produced.
What did you think was like the funniest? You kind of pops into your head. You think, wow.
Of all the kids, you know.
That stuff you did, and
Oh,
you think, oh,
and-
God, I look
and-
forward to going in because it's so funny.
Yeah. Oh, going in and working on.
Yeah.
I had fun doing this. We did this special called Funky, and Funky's gone through all these changes. If Funky was something that was good, then it turned out to be Funky was bad. You know, like you've got funky armpits, you know, and then it turned good again. You know, it's like, oh, that's really funky. You know, I don't know where it is now. Funky may be funky. I don't know. So, but I remember we did this show called Funky, and a bunch of these people, same people, doing stuff. Then I did a thing with Meadowlark Lemon. Oh God, that was.
Was it a thing unto itself?
Yeah, I don't know why you want to play this because I was terrible in it.
I mean, try it. I mean, all the big stars do it. Look at Joe Namath. Look at O.J. Simpson.
Oh, great. How would I look running through airports in pantyhose?
I feel as dealer on a bad day.
Don't you do it, sir. A great man such as yourself reduced to selling baby diapers or spray deodorant or going for all that disgusting gusto.
Lemon can sell anything.
Listen, you. He's a star, not Maurice the cat.
Hey, fellas. I'm Meadowlark.
Trust me. You could be the next Mr. Whipple.
Don't squeeze the lemon.
Well, I guess he was pretty natural as being a comedian, wasn't he?
The unfortunate part for me is that I like to produce, and I like to direct, and I like to act sometimes. But I mostly did producing in my life and directing, but not so much on camera after I did Dusty and those things. So once in a while, that we didn't have somebody or wanted somebody for free, I would step in and I would do something.
Well, I like that guy's French accent.
Yeah, he was pretty good, actually. Yeah.
You know who he was? You don't remember?
No, I can't remember his name now. It was 1980.
Bobby was fine.
80 or 81. You know. So, yeah.
Is that so? What? Give me another. Give me another. What was the Peabody Award for? I'm looking at this.
Oh, I did a show which I wish I had here. I don't even know because I lost a lot of my tapes because the oxide came off the tapes and we couldn't rescue them. But I did a show about hate. And the whole subject matter was that hate is basically two things. It's either something you don't understand, or it's something that you... I'm lost already in my thinking. Yeah, thank you. It's something that you don't understand, or something that you would And why can't I pull up the next word? This is the problem being 74. Let's come back to that. Anyway,
coming back.
What hate is, and that was what the subject was, and that's what I won the Peabody Award.
You know what?
And they only gave like 14 out that year, or something like that. Yeah.
Well, let's not hate. Let's all just love, because that's what I'm into. That's what I like.
Well, that's what I think most of us do.
That's what most of us do. But we can, you know what else we can do? We can go to Rome. We could go to Rome sometime.
Well, yes.
Set it up, baby. Go to.
Okay.
Go to Rome.
When I was 62 years old, and I was going to retire, and I had been in the business for 35 years, and I decided, hey, you never got to take a vacation. I think it's time to move on. So I literally dropped everything, and in a month I packed up and moved to Rome, Italy. And I got an apartment there, and I got a job teaching, which I'd never done before, at the American University of Rome. And so while I'm there, it was the third year that I was living in Rome, and I get a call from a casting director there who had met me, and she says, "Would you like to audition for this thing called Rome?" And I said, "Sure." So I take the train out to Cinecittà, which is sort of like Universal in Rome, and I walk in, and I find out that all the actors in the thing are British. Every single one of them are British. And it's a BBC HBO combination co-production. And the short of it is, I walked in and I said, well, and Michael Apted was the director, who was a multi-Oscar winner. And I said, oh, I thought the casting director was going to be. I said, you can tell I'm not British. I said, but I can do a British accent for you. So he said, okay. So I did my British accent, which was just mediocre.
Really, Numa, that's quite unnecessary. I beg you stand. There should be no formality here, not between old friends like us.
1,000 gratitudes, Hattia. We humbly seek the protection and friendship of your family. Sadly, there are some people who say that I am of the Pompeian faction.
Are you not?
All Pompey's faction have long since fled.
You stay for fear your factories and storehouses will be looted.
I assure you that's not true.
Faster.
5,000 denarii.
That much?
Please, let us not be vulgar.
I'll make the arrangements immediately.
What about you were telling me about a young lady who worked on a British accent on remember she had the big eyes.
Oh, Olivia Dowell? No.
Yeah.
Olivia Dowell, Wonder Years. She was on Wonder Years.
And
she was the girlfriend of Fred Savage. And I was directing a cartoon, and it was called Prince Valiant, Legend of Prince Valiant. And so she came into audition, and of course it's a Merlin the Magician and King Arthur and all that. So she came in and she started speaking with a British accent. And I said, look, for the audition you don't have to do that. You just do your own accent, do an American accent. She says, but British is my accent. I said, oh my God. I said, you mean all those years I watched Fred Savage and you were the girlfriend and you sounded exactly like an American? She said, that was strictly an accent. I said, yeah, boy, it was just merely an accent.
We got to wrap it up. I can't believe that we ran out of time, Stu.
Oh, you
so
can
much.
believe it.
I can believe it.
I can believe it.
I can believe it.
I was waiting for us to run out of time.
Well, we did. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it for tonight. But remember, if you enjoyed it, watching our show, I mean, just half as much as we've enjoyed doing it, then you've enjoyed it twice as much as you have.
Yeah. Well, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for inviting me.
Never hit your grandma with a shovel. It leaves a bad impression on her mind. In a better way, impart all the love things in your heart, for it's possible she may retort in kind. Remember, Granny's known you since a baby.